Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the New Year's nomad herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
I always wait for that. That's my most exciting part of the intro.
And it is episode 232, January 2nd. Let's get right into it. In the transits, Monday, January 2nd, today, Mercury retrograde, sextile Neptune.
Duct tape, a possibility.
Same day, Venus ingress, Aquarius.
Find your mind's G-spot.
Wednesday, January 4th, Venus sextile Jupiter.
Right time, right place.
Thursday, January 5th, Sun trine Uranus retrograde.
Lead effectively.
And Friday, January 6th, full moon at 16 degrees of Cancer.
Be vulnerable.
Saturday, January 7th, Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun.
Cazimi, 1 of 7 for the year.
And Sunday, January 8th, Mercury retrograde trine Uranus retrograde.
New angle of thinking.
And Monday, January 9th, Venus trine Mars retrograde.
Last aspect before he moves direct.
Then in Talisman's time, Sandy has one special upcoming on the 4th to be an educator, to inform and teach others many types of constructive information in order for each to perform victoriously. And a new Talisman of the Month. Then on the horizon, we have our 2023 year ahead forecast ready and waiting for you to watch, and some updates about our upcoming retreats. Then in our house, Sandy and I are back home for the holidays with some stories to tell. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of...
Hello, New Year's nomad.
What does that mean?
Well, this new year, you have 3 retreats, and so it's a lot of nomadic living.
I know.
And the first time in a while.
Beautiful places with beautiful people that are coming along. So join us, you beautiful people.
Yes. So going direct to all you listeners, we had an email from Mark A. He says, I had a wonderful reading and intention consultation with Sandy for my personal intention talisman. I love the handmade beads and the whole package that you put together. I'm consistent with the affirmations, and I'll let you both know how things are going. So we look forward to hearing from you, and good luck on this journey of intention.
Really interesting, Mark, who is a Vedic astrologer. And I made his personal talisman beads on the train when I was going through this area of the, it was like, oh my gosh, I have to make his talisman during this 24-hour train ride. We located where I would be, and we arranged at that time, and then arranged the time based on the location, the mountain time that I would be at. Interesting. And so, when I say planes, I made talisman on a plane, in a car, in an automobile, and now a train, and it was Mark's. So,
the trifecta is complete.
Now I need a boat.
Okay. So let's move into the transits, where we start the week off. It's a big week.
Yeah.
With lots of transits. And we start today, Monday, January 2nd, with Mercury retrograde sextile Neptune.
Yeah, this is 2 of the 3 passes that this Mercury retrograde will make to Neptune. And I called it a duct tape, a possibility. The two other dates other than, so the very first time, this was December 24th. Then we have today, January 2nd, and then the final pass will be February 6th. So, can continue to really find a solution to be able to be of use to everyone. And so if you have to stick some tape on that, where you're not ready to completely fix it, you're preparing that, let's just see if this new way works. And so you're duct taping it. What training program do you have your eye on? Inquiry into what can make the best decision for you. So if you're inquiry, make an inquiry. That's how you say that.
Yes.
That's a verb, right? to make a best decision for something that you are wanting to learn, right? Some maybe aspect of the esoteric spiritual teachings.
And this duct tape is just like a quick solution. Find a quick and easy solution, and then give yourself a little bit of time in order to find those really long-lasting solutions.
Yeah. And so one of the things I could think of that this could be is if you're looking at a program online, find out their return policy or something.
Or if there's a trial period.
Yeah, if there's a trial period or something that would be a way, and then get into it during this Mercury retrograde period to decide, are you staying in it February 6th, or is it within the period to return?
Okay.
Yeah.
And same day, Monday, January 2nd, Venus ingress Aquarius.
Venus, who is in charge of art, love, beauty, and moving into Aquarius says, okay, find your mental thinking's G-spot. Find where your unusual area that stimulates curiosity in all relationships, where you will be seeking different social meetups to experience this. Like, what turns you on in the mind?
Right. And I think that's kind of cool. It's a cool experience to find out in what moments does your mind get lit up, and when is it like aroused and excited and ready to go. And it's kind of a cool conquest.
Right. And when we were just going over the show notes, you were like, what? Your mind's G-spot, Mom, what are you doing? I think it's funny. Yeah, I know. But doesn't that make sense? It's like find what's exciting and curious and stimulating in the brain. Right. So
right.
Yeah, lovely.
And yeah, I think my mind loves games. It loves strategy. It loves, kind of being able to figure out a quick and easy solution or find out that little strategy.
Well, and your Mercury is in Aquarius. So there is your mind's curiosity, right? You just described your own mental thought process.
Yes. Yeah. So Wednesday, January 4th, Venus sextile Jupiter.
Right time, right place. Go and do it. It's a comfortable feeling. Note that any relationships that turn you off, keep them off. Keep that volume low. Keep that toggle switch on off, so that you can keep turned on in other areas of your life.
Break that down.
Okay, so it's Venus making a sextile to Jupiter. And it's like everything, like these are the two benefics are looking at each other going, hey, I see you. And one is in an air sign and the other one's in a fire sign. So it can be a very comfortable feeling of doing something, air and fire is active and it wants to share. And so, any relationships that turn you off, that you're not interested in, that you don't want to grow
or pursue,
keep them turned off. Don't open the door. Keep that toggle switch off. But in order to keep yourself turned on, right? Like if you open up doors or relationships that you don't find sufficient, you're turning yourself off by turning that relationship on. Do you understand that a little bit?
Right.
Now?
You're dimming your light.
You're dimming there you go. Maybe that's what I need to write here. So by keeping your light on, you are saying no to some of the darker personalities.
And Thursday, January 5th, Sun trine Uranus retrograde.
Lead effectively. First of all, anytime we hear Sun trining an outer planet that's retrograde, we know that pretty soon that this planet that the Sun is trining is about to move direct. Okay. And so here we're getting that signal right now because we just heard Sun trine Uranus retrograde. So lead effectively, through, and how do you do that? Through out of the ordinary practices. lead with effective individualness. Like here, the plan is we've always come out of the road and we turn right. Try left.
Right.
Try something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with Uranus going direct, when is that going to be happening?
Not for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's giving us a signal that it's getting ready.
Awesome. And Friday, January 6th, full moon at 16 degrees of Cancer.
Yeah. This is at 5:08 p.m. is this full moon. And can I just tell you, I wonder who's going to be listening to this podcast. The retreat hasn't started. The retreats for Mexico starts on the 7th.
On the next day.
But the 6th, there's a majority of us are going to be on location some days early in advance. So
right.
On this day, I've got something planned, watching the full moon come up over the Sea of Cortez, like we experienced that one year, that full moon.
It's beautiful.
And we're going to be listening to a violinist.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That is part of our retreat.
Awesome.
I know. But let's get back to the astrology of it.
Okay.
So this is a full moon. So the sun is in Capricorn. And the sun, we have to think the Capricorn, because the next day on Saturday, we're going to learn that Mercury retrograde is Cazimi the sun. So on this Friday the 6th, this full moon, the sun at 16 Capricorn is sitting with Mercury retrograde at 16 Capricorn. So this is with the opposition of the moon in Cancer. So this is, moon loves being in Cancer as she rules it. So it's like an exposed state of feelings, to be either attacked or consulted, or consoled. Maybe that's what I mean. Mm-hmm. Consoled. Allow for new plans to emerge that might even be better than your initial one.
Okay. A big full moon hug.
So, for me, and the reason why it might be better than your initial one, because there's a trine to Neptune, and Neptune we'll watch a mermaid jump out of the water as we're watching the moon come up over the Sea of Cortez. But to be vulnerable, to allow those feelings to be exposed. Yep. Which is what you want to do on a retreat anyway.
Right. And be shared, because that's where that sense of community, connectedness can really stem from, is just being able to see each other so genuinely and wholesomely. So let's move to Saturday, January 7th, Mercury retrograde conjunct the sun. And
here we are at 17 degrees of Capricorn.
This is the start of the retreat?
But this starts at 6:56 a.m. and the retreat doesn't. Our opening ceremony is at 6:30 p.m., so 12 hours later. But this is a Cazimi, and we're going to get 7 Cazimis in 2023. This is the first one, and it's about swooping information. Now this is can you guess this quote that I've got going on here? What movie is this from, Alex?
Okay.
If you could just clear your mind groceries, the universe would just swoop in and create all kinds of possibilities.
Yep. Eat, Pray, Love. From Texas. Was that his name?
Yeah, it's Richard from Texas.
Yeah, Richard from Texas.
But it's like, if you could just clear your mind groceries, the universe would swoop in and create all kinds of possibilities. Mm-hmm. That is the swooping information.
Yes. So Saturday, January 7th, great time for a meditation. So let's move on to Sunday, January 8th, Mercury retrograde, trine Uranus retrograde.
And this is the second of 3 passes, because Mercury, he be retrograde. So there's a new angle of thinking, because it's trine this Uranus, which is a very, inspiring kind of like reckoning. Like, I hadn't even thought about it that way. Wow. Where you scratch your head and go, that's interesting, right? That kind of thing, even though he's retrograde. The first time was December 17th. This is then January 8th, and then we get it January 30th. So it's just brilliant that this is a full day of teaching on the retreat while they're having a new angle of thinking. What about this quote? So, what's the angle? There's got to be an angle. What's the angle?
Oh, I don't know.
Cruella de Vil. It's the new one with the Emma.
Yeah.
With Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. One of the guys is like, there's an angle.
Right.
We got to find out the angle. What,
You're right.
You know, what's the purpose? What are we doing it? Why? What's the angle?
They're plotting a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's about a new angle of way of thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll be great because that Mars in retrograde discussion, I think, will be a new way of discussing, especially within astrology, because a lot of it is sun-centric. So let's move on to our little bonus day, which is Monday, January 9th. Since this is happening so early, we'll start with Venus trine Mars retrograde.
Yeah, this is Monday morning. It's the last aspect before Mars makes his direct movement. And it's a final, beautiful and graceful dusting before taking action. It's like the final tweak that actually works because it's Venus, and Venus is making a trine, and this is all an air sign, right? We got Mars and Gemini air. We got Venus making this aspect from the air sign of Aquarius, and so it's just about, because really Mars stations direct the next day on the 12th. So it's not the next day, but it's the last aspect to Mars is Venus. And so it's just Venus is given a little a beautiful kiss
Smooch.
or
Smoochy smooch.
Graceful dusting.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wrap on this week. It's pretty long, but it sounds exciting.
Yes.
And you're going to be enjoying the beautiful weather of Mexico.
I didn't buy new bathing suits, but I'm thinking about buying a new bathing suit for Bali. I'm going to wear my old bathing suits for Mexico, but just look better in them. So they won't be so stretched out.
So let's move into talisman times. We don't have any finished. However, there is one special upcoming. That is Wednesday, January 4th, to be an educator.
I inform and teach others many types of constructive information in order for each one to perform victoriously.
Yes.
So yes, this is the moon in Gemini. So the moon in Gemini likes to teach.
And communicate.
And have projects and programs and homework and stuff. And the moon is making a trine. Again, that's air, moon and air. Gemini is making a trine to Saturn, who's direct in Aquarius coming up over the horizon, which is the ruler of the ascendant, ruler of the horizon. But we've got Deneb Algedi there too, which is the fixed star. So this is like a double dose talisman. This is not only the air component with one of the last few of Saturn talismans in his own sign. It'll be, I think we were figuring out it'll be 9 or 10 years before Saturn gets into an area of the sky, which is Libra, where he is exalted. And that's, oh man, that's a long ways time away. Now. That's probably, what did I just say? So no, that's more like 14, 15, 16 years. Yeah, so no, Saturn's going to be not, if you're looking for a Saturn talisman, here's one. And then we've got a conjunct Deneb Algedi, which is the lawgiver, providing information of how to build things. It's agriculture. It's how to work things and know things. It's like knowledge. It's wisdom.
Okay.
So there's a great one. It's not only, like I said, a strong Saturn, it's with Saturn on Deneb Algedi. Now, Saturn won't be on Deneb Algedi for another 29 years. So you tell me how special this one is.
Yes, very.
Grab this while you still can.
And the talisman of the month, which we are announcing now, is to believe in the value of persistence and hard work. My life philosophy is one of commitment. I see the results of my efforts. This one also it has Deneb Algedi in it. And this is a moon conjunct Saturn talisman. So again, a big theme within that Saturn discipline, leadership, kind of structured sense to it. Let's move on to the horizon, where we have just finished up our 2023 year ahead forecast. Thank you everyone for joining us.
2 hours of talking astrology. How better can it get?
3 hours.
Yeah, there's a thing.
So that has been recorded, and we're posting that up on the website for you to stream and watch. However, don't forget that the platform is changing in 2023. So from after this, our monthly forecasts, our cheat sheets, everything is going to be available on patreon.com. You can head over to patreon.com/chattingwiththestars, because this is Sandy and Susan. They bring you all of this wonderful astrology knowledge from 2 different astrologers' perspectives. So everything from the quarterly readings to monthly readings to the live monthly forecasts and the cheat sheets are all going to be available on that platform. And
I want to clarify something here, because Mercury is retrograde, is that you and I, Alex, we run intention beads.
Yeah.
And in a collaborative effort, Susan Goodell, who has her own business of financial astrology, she is a book writer, she's working on her second book. She's a financial astrologer and has her own practice. She and I have linked up about, 8-9 years ago.
Right.
And we do something collaboratively. We do something together. And we have fun doing it. And we call that chatting with the stars.
Right.
So what you're hearing on the podcast always is Sandy and Alex's intention beads. And that's what puts out the podcast, Intention Beads. But because we work with Susan Goodell on Chatting with the Stars, and that is moving over to Patreon, not us, not Intention Beads only is not moving to Patreon. It's Sandy and Susan show called Chatting with the Stars. But I did have a few of my clients ask, how do I do that now? And she doesn't follow the Chatting with the Stars group. So there's two companies here, basically.
Right. So, of course, if you have any questions, email me, Alex, at intentionbeads.com. We are going to make our final announcement. This is the last call for the procrastinators, for the surprise, for the spontaneous ones, for the ones who just realized that they got so many points on their airline that they need to use up for the year.
Or got extra money, or need to get the hell out of town. They're done with the holiday family stuff.
We have one spot left. This is one room, so you actually can open it up to 2 people. This is the Mexico retreat, all focused on Mars retrograde and Mars going direct in Gemini. This is all about finding your force, finding your warriorship, learning more about what motivates you and how you can keep that fire burning and sustained.
Yeah, let's talk about 2023, baby.
Yes. So click on that link. Probably best email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. If you are interested, we're going to need to get you right over with all the information.
Did we say anything here about like the fact that I'm doing so many radio spots right now?
We can discuss that in our house.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then April of 2023, we have our Bali retreat that is still open and available.
Yep.
Our Bali retreat is one that is probably the closest to our heart because it is such a sacred land, sacred space. The people are absolutely phenomenal. And the richness of the culture is everywhere. And you're really going on the other side of the world and getting a complete shift,
a new angle,
a new idea of what the world is. And seeing a culture for what it values and being able to be on and in that experience, on that land and in that experience is one of the most priceless things, because it always brings me back home completely grateful for all of the things that I have, but also completely shocked that somehow some days I can be like, I don't have enough. And yeah, it makes you really reconsider all of those negative thoughts in your head. So that Bali retreat, we have so many surprises, so many exciting things. We go and visit beautiful sites around. You're in the jungle. The weather is always amazing. The rain is completely cleansing. The smell of the forests and the jungle are indescribable.
And we're doing some new things. This year. So and that's April 1st through the 11th.
Correct. I'm going to sneak over the Greece retreat to get us to our house.
Okay.
And well, first, let's talk about your radio shows.
Well, when I was in Santa Fe, I got invited to, I think we talked about that,
yeah,
that I was a guest with Martin Goldsmith. Wow. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, but I did great. I did well. And so much so, it's a radio show called Moonwise, mm-hmm. and Marilyn LeBlanc runs it, and so she contacted me earlier this week to ask me if I could do Saturday's show, because it's the first, it was the 31st, it's the New Year's, but it was the New Year's show, and she wanted to talk about intention, mm-hmm. and so we did this whole 27 minutes of the four things I consider with intention: affirmation, gratitude, and manifestation. And it was a really great show. And I'd like to put it on some sort of notes here so people can listen to that if they're interested.
If I can get that audio in time, I will link it here.
And then I have an hour and a half radio. These are all live. An hour and a half on the 4th, and I'm the first radio live show for the West Coast,
wow.
for Portland, and for South Africa, Cape Town.
Wow.
And talking about the astrology of 2023 as we set off, a new year, and how to set intention. So all of a sudden, there's a lot of attention coming to my intention, which was one of my talismans that I put on recently, was to be, to gain notoriety in the world of holding intentions and aspiring to something bigger than we think we can. So it's working.
Woohoo. So since we are in our house, let's discuss, now that we're back home from the holidays, let's discuss some of the stories of our trip. And I guess it was a rocky start at first, because this big snowstorm that came in, we had to kind of rearrange our timing on when we were going to leave. So we left a couple days.
A day late.
And we got there safe. There was really no issue. And it turned out to be a fabulous Christmas visit.
We haven't made the last 2 Christmases, which is so unusual in all my years of going to Cincinnati and being with my family, except for the 2 during COVID. It was so lovely. I mean, we played games, card games. We played the new game you brought. We played
Chameleon.
We played
Farkle.
It was just good to see. We were all there. Even Andrew, my son, your brother, was able to show up for about 12 hours.
Right.
It was just so beautiful. It was my second Christmas since my dad left. Mm-hmm. And, we did go to church and have a special ceremony for him on that Sunday, on Christmas Day. So it was just, couldn't have been better. Really, couldn't have been nicer. It's perfect. And I even ate potato chips and chocolate covered almonds.
Yes.
And did not gain any weight. Yeah.
Yes. And the games, of course, because I love my games, right? The Chameleon was a new game for us all in the family because it's like a secret word game. And there's one person who is the chameleon that does not know the secret word. Mm-hmm. Because there's a code. There's a code system in order to find out which of the words are. So the chameleon might be able to see the topic and maybe a few of the words as they pass the secret coder around. But it turns out to be so much fun because you have to just one by one, each person says one adjective about the secret word. And if the chameleon at the end of the round can tell the crowd first you have to figure out who is the chameleon. Everyone points and you got to figure out who is the chameleon. Yeah. Once the chameleon shows themselves, then the chameleon can be set free if they can guess the secret word. And
which is tough.
It is, and it's tough. It really depends, how much you're paying attention. But it is a great game.
Great game.
Everyone gets shocked. Everyone, and one of the funniest things was my cousin's new girlfriend came to Christmas, and lo and behold, out of the first 6 rounds that we were playing, she was the chameleon 4 times. Yeah. And granted, we were playing with a big group. This was probably maybe like 10 to 11 people. We even had to pair up. Yeah, we had to pair up in order to fit everyone. And so I don't know, what's the odds? What's the possibility that she could get it that many times? It was just such a great
initiation.
Right. It was an initiation. And just to see that she caught on so quickly, and we all started making jokes like, well, of course it's going to be her, and go figure, it really was the next time and the next time and the next time. So it was a fabulous trip. And of course, we hope that you all had a great holiday with your family and friends. And if you're still there and if you're still celebrating, we send you our love and Happy New Year, everybody. We are so excited for 2023. It's going to be a great year with many retreats ahead and many new horizons.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story